A different perspective, a new insight into life, a nugget of positivity and a hidden truth, and maybe an amusement for you. Welcome to From My Standpoint, a twice-a-month podcast with your host, Josh C. Jones.
Hello there, and thank you for listening to From My Standpoint, a podcast changing the perspective for a better understanding. And Happy New Year, and I hope you survived and thrived in 2020, by learning to find the positive in everything and by taking time to rest, to refresh, and to truly think about what is most important in your life and what is most important in life in general. Now, 2020, perfect vision. 2021, a changed vision. Maybe not much, but the events of 2020 and its vision have given us an opportunity to change the perspective, even if slightly.
Even when the analogy is poor, you still try, don't you?
Poor? What do you mean by that, Random Voice of Questions? I thought vision was a good analogy.
2020 is considered perfect vision. 2021 is considered a slight imperfect vision. You must be closer, in this case, 1 foot closer to the object being viewed than someone with 20/20 vision.
Yeah, so?
So, 2021 is becoming nearsighted vision.
How are you going to save this one?
Maybe that is what we are to learn. That we should not be so eager to try and predict the future and always be living in the future. But instead, maybe we should enjoy the moments we have, be in the present, enjoy the life we have, and be present with those we are with. And we are to have faith.
Nice save. What do you think, Random Voice of Reason?
It is an acceptable save.
Well, thank you, you two. Anyway, Happy New Year to all of you out there. I'm going to say that again. Happy New Year. And thank you for coming back to listen to more from the From My Standpoint podcast. Now, if you listened to episode 1, my first post, or is it, I mentioned that I have almost 2 years worth of material already written. That's right, almost 2 years. So long as I stick to the twice a month, 1 episode at a time release schedule, which I have already broken twice. Anyway, I appreciate you tuning in again to From My Standpoint. I'm your host, Josh C. Jones. If this is your first time listening, then I thank you for tuning in. And if it's not, well, thank you for coming back. And do not forget that if you prefer to read, I suggest you check out the blog at FromTheirStandpoint.com. That's from THEIR standpoint.com, where I will sometimes add links and some extra information that may not be in the podcast. All right, and since there is so much good information prepared that will not see the light of day for months or possibly even more than a year, which makes sense since it's 2 years, but I thought I would wet your whistle with some of the topics that you can hear in future episodes, and some of these will be coming up this year in 2021. Ah, the good old sound of a canned studio audience cheering. There's nothing like it to get you excited about what's being said, is there? Well, maybe except for a real audience cheering. Maybe one day I'll have a live show. Who knows what the future holds. Anyway, if you are enjoying the shows thus far, even just to make fun of them...
And haters gonna hate... Naysayers gonna naysay, yeah.
Yeah, that they will. And I am okay with that. so long as they are sharing my podcast and giving me free word-of-mouth advertising. So, you want to make fun of it? Share it, share it, share it. But really, I do hope you are sharing these episodes in the podcast, and I encourage you to share them with all of your friends and family or social groups that like to hate on and make fun of different perspectives. Do not be ashamed of that. I mean, we all have this, most especially when it comes to politics. It is something we are all in need of to change in our lives and to better learn from. But like I said, if we are still in this place, or if you're still in that place, then by all means, share my podcast and episodes. So share.
I will.
Yeah, that was not very enthusiastic. Ah, that's much better. Also, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. Now, on with the show here. Some of my future episodes touch on the topics of, now, get ready, this one may shock you. Some of them touch on the topics of politics.
No.
Actually, yes.
Can you give us a little more information on that?
Well, that I can, Random Voice of Questions. It'll be topics such as justice, lady justice, slogans. Slogans are everywhere. Voting, which I already had one episode on that. Episode 11, support, how do we vote? And very, very creative perspectives to discuss this topic.
Like what?
Oh, Random Voice of Questions. If I told you that, then that would actually give away the surprise perspective in that episode. So I don't want to do that. But I'll also have an original poem. It's a longer one, so don't worry. It is entertaining. I've read it to a few people already, and they really like it. And more.
What else? What other topics?
Well, Random Voice of Questions. I also discuss poetry, if you like poetry. Prayer. It is real, and it does work. I am an example of that, as are many others out there. I discuss my books. Yep, those being Destiny, Life or Death, Choose Your Destiny. Entrepreneur, 5 Characteristics of the Successful and Respected. Volume 1, The Foundation to Your Success. And Volume 2, Your Foundation in Action. And yes, this is exciting right here. I am already in the process of publication for these books. One step at a time. Baby steps, right? But we are getting much, much closer to releasing these books for you all to read and enjoy and give me your feedback on. I also speak of foundations for your life. Choices, reasoning, logic, philosophy, and as Random Voice of Reason says in a yet-to-be-released episode that's already been written and recorded, titled Stand Firm,
You can give into portions of an angry mob, to evil, to your oppressors, to thugs. But if you even deny them one thing, they will punish you severely. For complete suppression and submission is the ultimate end goal, not the first inch or even the first mile.
And I talk about many different emotions and treasured things for this life.
One can hardly speak of correcting oneself or the future without at least learning a little something from the past.
Yeah. That is absolutely correct, Random Voice of Reason. Thank you. And that is why I have a few episodes where I do discuss occurrences from the past. You've already heard one of them in the 2-parter, episode 8 and episode 9. I did not see that coming, parts 1 and 2.
Can you give an example of one of the others at least?
Well, for you, Random Voice of Questions, sure. An internal battle amongst friends, neighbors, and family. A blood-soaked land, baking the bodies of liberty, tyranny, slavery, and freedom. a power play of coercion, fear, doubt, and strength. A tragedy, fanned through great moral hypocrisy and unleashed by a desire to preside over unification.
What is that?
No. You asked for an example. I gave you one random voice of questions. This one was actually from an episode discussing history and context and finding a hidden and sometimes ignored truth. Oh yeah. I also have a new one where Random Voice of Questions gets to host. That's right, he is the host. And he gets to ask all the questions he wants about whatever he wants. And that one, of course, is non-creatively titled Q&A. It being a little longer episode, it's also split into 2 parts as well. I also touch on other things too, such as the importance of scheduling, teachers and schooling, and wisdoms learned, the 2 most discussed isms, and I break down a few Bible verses and Bible stories. I thank those who bravely stepped out in the face of the unknown and unprecedented danger that was the virus of 2020. As you probably already heard in episode 6, thank you, Pandemic 2020. It might be labeled episode 4 as well. I'm not sure. I created 2 new episodes that I released before that one, but I had already uploaded that one, so it got a little mixed up on being labeled episode 6 or 4, but whatever. It is what it is. And don't forget to go back and listen to episode 13, You Are Worthy, Part 2, Tribute to Veterans. We can never forget our brave heroes, our veterans, and I hope that they do all realize that they are worthy. Now, there are great words of wisdom in each episode. There is enlightening information in each, encouraging hopes, entertaining aspects and different perspectives, truth, hope, positivity to find in every episode. And I do hope that each episode is enjoyable to listen to. And there are even more great side-splitting wisdoms in the Wisdom of Dad joke at the end of each episode. Okay, fine. Some might not be side-splitting, but I mean, you can't please everyone all the time, right? And come on, I mean, it's dad jokes. They're supposed to be dumb anyway, right? Well, I do thank you for your time. I thank you for your interest in my podcast, and I do hope that you subscribe and stay with us for a long, long time. Remember, your support through your reviews, ratings, and sharing of the episodes help people find this show and, I hope, greatly help others in their life too. Don't forget to check out the other great shows at www.fromtheirstandpoint.com. That's from THEIR standpoint.com. The other shows of Bold Identity, Bold Belief by Cindy Carpenter, and Disnerd Chat, discussing everything Disney by Jen and Hay. And if you even slightly liked what you've heard in these podcasts, please rate, review, and share. If you have not yet subscribed, then I encourage you to subscribe to From My Standpoint to ensure you receive a reminder when new episodes are released. You can follow me on Facebook at FM Standpoint, on Instagram at From My Standpoint, or visit the website www.fromtheirstandpoint.com. That's from THEIR standpoint.com, and click on my show, From My Standpoint. And now, what you've all been waiting for. It's the Wisdom of Dad joke. Wisdoms come in many forms: scripture, teachings, successes, failures, how-to books, fiction books, cartoon characters, etc. If we keep our eyes and ears open, we can always find some wisdom most everywhere. But I must admit, I think the best wisdoms are these dad jokes. But dads are not the only ones who kid. Oh no. When a woman gives birth, she is also kidding.
This has been From My Standpoint, a podcast to find a nugget of positivity and a hidden truth, encouraging and enlightening insight, entertaining a new perspective, and providing an amusement for you. We hope you were entertained, encouraged, enlightened, and enjoyed the show.